You're on stage. You love what you do. And honestly, you could be completely relaxed. Just like before, when music was simply music. When you played with friends, no pressure, no expectations, just joy. But something has changed. Now you're a professional. And suddenly it's about more, about precision, about quality, about impact. You want to deliver, and the very thing that once made your playing alive, that ease, that inner smile, that feeling of I just play because I love it, it's gone. You're focused, you're prepared, but somewhere inside there's tension. You're watching yourself instead of just playing. And that's where the problem begins. I felt the same way. I used to be completely relaxed on stage. After I graduated from the Munich Guitar Institute, after I finally said, this is it. I'm going to be a professional musician. Something changed in my playing. Before that, I played with freedom, with curiosity, with joy. But once it became my job, I started judging every note. At first, I thought it was just pressure, but then my body started showing up. I felt tension in my feet, as if they were glued to the floor, holding on. The fear was sitting there, right in the body. My hands gripped tighter. I started to secure, but the more I tried to control, the less I could connect. From the outside, no one noticed, but inside I wasn't flowing anymore. I was performing myself, not the music. And that's when I realized this wasn't about skill. It was about the brain, about fear, about trust. That's when I rediscovered The Inner Game of Music by Timothy Galway. Galway writes about two selves inside every musician. One judges, the other one plays. Self one, the player, is intuitive, connected, and creative. Self two, the judge, is analytical, critical, and afraid to fail. When self two takes over, self one shuts down. Galway says the greatest interference to learning and performance is self-judgment. And neuroscience explains why. When the judging self activates, the amygdala fires your brain's alarm system. Your body shifts into protection mode. The sympathetic nervous system prepares for danger. Light muscles, shallow breathing, narrow focus. But great music comes from the parasympathetic mode, the system of calm, trust and flow. So to play freely again, I had to teach my body it was safe to play. From fight or flight to flow. When you get nervous before playing, it's not weakness, it's biology. Your brain is trying to protect you. But you can retrain it. Before I play, and sometimes between songs, when I don't feel relaxed, I take 3 slow breaths. Exhaling twice as long as I inhale. This activates the vagus nerve, telling my body, you're safe. When I started doing that before every gig, I could literally feel my hands relax. 2. Reframing mistakes. Dopamine instead of cortisol. In the brain, reward and punishment run on different chemicals. If you focus on don't mess up, you flood your body with cortisol, stress and tension. But if you focus on curiosity, you activate dopamine, the neurotransmitter for learning, joy and creativity. So I changed how I practiced. Instead of fixing mistakes, I started exploring them. Every wrong note became information. And then came a night I never forget. A friend of mine, a great blues guitar player, once completely messed up during a gig. He hit a wrong note. Everyone heard it. But instead of pretending it didn't happen, he smiled and played it again. And again. He started working with it, twisted it, repeated it, building on it. That mistake became a riff, a new idea, and the whole room came alive. What happened there was simple, but deeply neuropsychological. His brain shifted from fear to curiosity, from cortisol to dopamine, from control to creation. That moment taught me more about music than any scale or exercise ever did. Now when I play and something unexpected happens, I try to remember that night, because sometimes the mistake is the music. 3. Attention training. The power of single focus. When your attention jumps to the audience, the finger, the tone, the fear, your working memory overloads. And precision drops. So I started practicing one-pointed attention. Sometimes I focus only on the tone. Sometimes only on my breath. Sometimes on the feeling on the strings. Neuroscience shows that when you focus on one sensory anchor, you reduce cognitive load and increase coordination. It's not about ignoring mistakes. It's about staying present enough to let your body play. 4. Integration. From critic to collaborator. That voice in your head saying, "You're not good enough," it's not your enemy. It's a protection system that got too loud. Once I stopped fighting it and started listening to it with kindness, it changed tone. From "you messed this up" to "you care about this. Breathe and play." That shift literally changes the brain. From amygdala, in klammern fear, to prefrontal cortex, regulation, clarity. It's not a mindset, it's neuroplasticity. You teach your nervous system to trust again. Later, I read something by famous producer Rick Rubin that hit me deeply. Our job is not to control the work, it's to create the conditions for it to happen. That line changed everything, because I realized I'd been trying to control music instead of creating space for it. Rubin also said, the goal is not to get rid of the voices. The goal is to know which one to listen to. That's the inner game again. Removing interference so your intuition can speak. In neuroscience, we'd say you're calming the thread system so your creative network can come online again. That's what freedom really is. A nervous system that feels safe enough to create. So yes, in a way, I failed as a musician because I lost my joy. But that failure forced me to see something deeper. You can't play freely while trying to prove your worth. You can only play freely when you feel safe being you. And that safety doesn't come from the audience. It's something you build inside, in how you breathe, how you think, how you talk to yourself. If you've lost your joy in music, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new relationship. One where your nervous system and your soul play on the same team. Because music doesn't come from control, it comes from connection. And if you like to go a bit deeper into this, I wrote a free ebook called Recognize and Change Your Limiting Beliefs as a Musician. It's full of simple reflections and exercises to help you uncover the thoughts that hold you back and replace them with beliefs that support your freedom. You can download it free. The link is right below this video. I hope it helps you find your way back to joy.